The arrival of the Nox Saturnus. In the vast expanse of space, where stars twinkled like distant memories, a shadow loomed, a harbinger of chaos that sent ripples of fear through galaxies. This was no ordinary phenomenon. It was the Nox Saturnus, an incomprehensible entity capable of consuming entire worlds with a flicker of its consciousness. As planets vanished and civilizations crumbled under its uncaring gaze, panic gripped even the most advanced species, forcing them into retreat like frightened children. Among those who dared to confront this cosmic terror was Captain Harry Tucker, a seasoned explorer aboard the battered human vessel known as Odyssey. Unlike other spacefaring empires that had fled in primal terror, Tucker felt a pull towards understanding rather than fear. He believed that within this darkness lay secrets that could redefine existence itself. Set course to the coordinates, he commanded his crew with a voice steady as steel. His first officer, Samantha Cruz, exchanged worried glances with Lieutenant Sarah Chen, who manned the ship's navigation console. "Captain, are you sure about this?" Cruz asked, her voice laced with concern. "We're talking about an entity that has driven entire civilizations into extinction." "I know what I'm asking," Tucker replied firmly. "But we can't let fear dictate our actions. This is our chance, our responsibility, to make first contact." As they approached, the swirling mass of undulating darkness shot through with colors beyond human comprehension. A palpable tension filled the air. The ship's sensors registered bizarre readings, fluctuations in time and space that defied logic. Crew members gripped their consoles tightly as visions of their deepest fears clawed at their minds. Shadows danced at the edges of their perception. "Captain." Chen's voice trembled slightly as she monitored incoming data. "The energy signatures are off the charts. It's like nothing we've ever encountered." Tucker took a deep breath, fighting down his own dread. "We're not here to fight. We're here to understand." He turned towards his crew, determination etched on his face. "Prepare for communication protocols." As if sensing their approach, the Nox Saturnus shifted ominously. Its presence felt like an oppressive weight pressing down on them, warping reality itself. Tucker activated the ship's communication array and hailed the entity directly. "This is Captain Harry Tucker of Earth's Odyssey. We come in peace, seeking only to understand you," he declared boldly, his voice echoing through the bridge despite his racing heart. The response was immediate, a cacophony of sounds that felt like screaming stars and agonized matter invading their senses. It was incomprehensible yet mesmerizing, a language formed not just from words but from emotions, woven into reality itself. "What's it saying?" Cruz asked breathlessly as she struggled to interpret the chaotic signals flooding her console. It's expressing something," Dr. Ethan Reeves, their xenolinguist, muttered as he analyzed patterns on his screen. "But it's not just language. It's a manifestation of its emotional state." Tucker leaned closer to Reeves' console, intrigued yet apprehensive. "You mean its feelings are tied to its communication?" Reeves nodded vigorously. "Exactly. Each symbol represents fundamental concepts, like building blocks of existence itself." As they delved deeper into deciphering this cosmic language, news of their unprecedented contact spread throughout the galaxy like wildfire. On Erwin homeworlds far away, leaders convened emergency sessions filled with dread over what this could mean for their civilizations. Grand Admiral Zoran stood before his counselors, his stern visage reflecting deep concern. "We cannot allow humans to continue this foolhardy endeavor," he declared vehemently. "The Nox Saturnus is a threat to our very existence." Yet amid this turmoil emerged Counselor Lyra, a young Arcturian with an open heart who believed in understanding rather than annihilation. She stepped forward confidently, her holographic form shimmering with purpose. "With respect, Grand Admiral," she interjected softly but firmly, "I believe we should observe and learn from humans' interaction with this entity. This is an opportunity for knowledge that could change our civilization." While debates raged on across galaxies about how best to confront this cosmic horror, Captain Tucker and his crew continued their attempts at communication with unwavering resolve. They shared stories from Earth, tales of resilience and hope, hoping to bridge not just language but understanding between species. To their astonishment, as they transmitted music and art across vast voids of space, they began to see changes in how the Nox Saturnus responded. Its chaotic energies slowly subsided into a more rhythmic pulse, a sign that perhaps they were reaching it on some fundamental level. But unbeknownst to them all, amidst this blossoming friendship, a darker threat was lurking in shadows back on Earth. Malcolm Graves, the ruthless CEO of Titan Industries, had been watching closely from his opulent office. Imagine what we could do if we harness this power. He mused coldly as he studied holographic displays of the Nox Eternus flickering before him. His eyes glinted with avarice as he assembled a team of mercenaries and unscrupulous scientists eager for wealth beyond imagination. "Capture it," he commanded menacingly. "Bring it to me." As Odyssey ventured deeper into uncharted territories alongside its newfound ally, the Cosmic Terror, the stage was set for an epic confrontation between fear and friendship that would determine not only their fates but also that of countless civilizations across galaxies. In this momentous journey toward understanding one another amid uncertainty and chaos, the seeds of friendship were sown in darkness, a testament against fear itself. First contact. The Odyssey hung suspended in the void, surrounded by the swirling mass of the Nox Eternus. Captain Harry Tucker stood resolute on the bridge, his gaze fixed on the ethereal display of colors and shapes that danced across the viewscreen. The crew was still processing the revelation that the entity they faced was not merely a cosmic terror, but a being capable of emotional expression. "Dr. Reeves, how are we progressing with the communication attempts?" Tucker asked, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. Reeves, hunched over his console, was a flurry of activity. His fingers danced across holographic symbols that flickered with an otherworldly light. "I think I'm beginning to understand its language," he replied, excitement lacing his tone. "It's not just a form of communication, it's a way of perceiving reality itself." "What do you mean?" Tucker leaned closer, intrigued. "The Nox Eternus conveys meaning through the very fabric of space-time," Reeves explained, gesturing to a cluster of glyphs on his screen. "Each symbol represents a fundamental concept, a building block of existence." As they delved deeper into this cosmic language, news of their unprecedented contact spread like wildfire across the galaxy. On Erwin homeworlds far away, leaders convened emergency sessions filled with dread over what this could mean for their civilizations. Grand Admiral Zoran stood before his counselors, his stern visage reflecting deep concern. "We cannot allow humans to continue this foolhardy endeavor," he declared vehemently. "The Nox Eternus is a threat to our very existence." Yet amid this turmoil emerged Counselor Lyra, a young Arcturian with an open heart who believed in understanding rather than annihilation. She stepped forward confidently, her holographic form shimmering with purpose. "With respect, Grand Admiral," she interjected softly but firmly, "I believe we should observe and learn from humans' interaction with this entity. This is an opportunity for knowledge that could change our civilization." While debates raged on across galaxies about how best to confront this cosmic horror, Captain Tucker and his crew continued their attempts at communication with unwavering resolve. They shared stories from Earth, tales of resilience and hope, hoping to bridge not just language but understanding between species. To their astonishment, as they transmitted music and art across vast voids of space, they began to see changes in how the Nox Eternus responded. Its chaotic energies slowly subsided into a more rhythmic pulse, a sign that perhaps they were reaching it on some fundamental level. As days turned into weeks aboard the Odyssey, Tucker's crew worked tirelessly to foster this newfound bond. They hosted virtual gatherings where human culture was shared through music and art. Dr. Reeves led discussions about humanity's history, its triumphs and failures, while Lieutenant Sarah Chen organized virtual games that involved strategic thinking and cooperation. One evening, as soft melodies filled the bridge, Tucker noticed something extraordinary happening on the view screen. The Nox Eternus began to respond visually to their transmissions. Its chaotic energy patterns shifted into breathtaking displays, forming mesmerizing auroras that painted the bridge in colors never before seen by human eyes. "It's beautiful," whispered Lieutenant Chen as she gazed at the spectacle unfolding before them. Tucker felt a swell of hope within him. Perhaps they were making progress after all. As they delved deeper into their friendship with the cosmic entity, Counselor Lyra joined them on the bridge one day, her violet eyes sparkling with curiosity. "I must admit, Captain," she said, her melodic voice filled with awe as she observed the Nox Eternus display, "I did not expect to find such beauty in this encounter." "Neither did we," Tucker replied with a grin. "Care to join us for a game of chess with our new friend?" Lyra's eyes widened in surprise. "Chess? With a cosmic entity?" "You'd be surprised. It picks things up quickly," Tucker said playfully. As laughter echoed through the bridge, they initiated a game that transcended mere competition. It became a symbol of their growing bond, a dance between two vastly different forms of intelligence striving for understanding. However, unbeknownst to them all, amidst this blossoming friendship, a darker threat was lurking in shadows back on Earth. Malcolm Graves, the ruthless CEO of Titan Industries, had been watching closely from his opulent office. "Imagine what we could do if we harness this power," he mused coldly as he studied holographic displays of the Nox Eternus flickering before him. His eyes glinted with avarice as he assembled a team of mercenaries and unscrupulous scientists eager for wealth beyond imagination. "Capture it," he commanded menacingly. "Bring it to me." As Odyssey ventured deeper into uncharted territories alongside its newfound ally, the Cosmic Terror, the stage was set for an epic confrontation between fear and friendship that would determine not only their fates but also that of countless civilizations across galaxies. Meanwhile, back aboard Odyssey, Dr. Reeves made another breakthrough in understanding the Nox Eternus emotional state tied to its powers. "Captain," he exclaimed one day as he burst onto the bridge, "I've made a significant discovery." "What have you got?" Tucker asked eagerly. "The Nox Eternus reality warping abilities are directly linked to its emotional state," Reeves explained breathlessly. "When it feels distress or agitation, its powers become chaotic." A hush fell over the bridge as the implications sank in. If they could help stabilize its emotions through understanding and companionship, perhaps they could prevent any destructive outbursts from occurring. In the following days, Tucker and his crew redoubled their efforts to communicate with the Nox Eternus. They transmitted stories filled with themes of love and friendship, while Dr. Reeves tirelessly decoded its responses and pieced together its tragic history. "It has wandered through the universe for eons," Reeves explained during one briefing session, his voice thick with emotion. "Every attempt at contact has been met with fear and aggression." Captain Tucker nodded grimly as he absorbed this information. No wonder it lashed out, "We need to show it there's another way." With renewed vigor, they embraced their roles as cosmic ambassadors. The crew invited the Nox Eternus to participate in human customs, sharing meals and games, and in return, it showered them with gifts crafted from the very fabric of spacetime itself. But darker forces were gathering in a sleek office on Earth, where Malcolm Graves leaned back in his chair studying holographic readouts of the Nox Eternus with cold ambition gleaming in his eyes. "Imagine the possibilities," he mused to his assembled team of mercenaries and scientists. "Reality itself bent to our will." Killian Drake, a towering figure enhanced by cybernetic modifications, stepped forward confidently. "My team is ready, just give us the word." Graves smiled coldly at Drake's eagerness. "Soon, very soon." Back aboard Odyssey, as celebrations erupted over another breakthrough in communication efforts with their cosmic ally, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship, shattering their momentary peace. "Lieutenant Chen," Tucker shouted over the chaos as he sprinted toward his command chair. "What's happening?" "Multiple bogies incoming." Chen's voice crackled through the intercom urgently. "They're not responding to hails." Tucker's heart raced as he took command once more. "Evasive maneuvers, shields up." But it was too late. Enemy vessels surrounded them like wolves closing in on prey, trapping Odyssey within an iron grip of tractor beams. Captain Tucker. A towering cyborg appeared on their view screen, a figure more machine than man, with weapons leveled at them menacingly. "I'm Killian Drake," he rasped through metallic lips. "I'll be taking control of your ship now." Tucker's instincts kicked in. He reached for his sidearm, but Drake was faster. A blast sent him sprawling against his command chair. "Don't even think about it," Drake warned coldly as chaos erupted around them. The crew fought valiantly against overwhelming odds, while Dr. Reeves scrambled to send out a distress signal amidst flying phaser fire and screams echoing through corridors. Outside, sensing distress within its human friends, the Nox Eternus pulsed violently. It hesitated momentarily before unleashing a surge of cosmic energy that warped reality around attacking ships like paper caught in a storm. But amidst this chaos, Drake seized an opportunity. He snatched up an ethereal crystal, formed from fragments of Nox Eternus essence before activating an emergency teleporter, vanishing along with Captain Tucker and Dr. Reeves into thin air. The remaining crew stared in shock as enemy ships retreated into darkness, leaving behind only questions and uncertainty about what lay ahead. Growing bonds. The Odyssey floated in the aftermath of chaos, its crew reeling from the sudden attack by Killian Drake and his mercenaries. Captain Harry Tucker and Dr. Ethan Reeves had been taken, leaving the remaining crew scrambling to regain control of their ship and protect their newfound ally, the Nox Eternus. As alarms blared and the ship's systems flickered, First Officer Samantha Cruz took charge on the bridge. Lieutenant Chen, status report. She barked, her voice steady despite the turmoil. Shields at 47%, warp drive is offline, Chen replied, her fingers flying over the console. We've lost contact with Captain Tucker and Dr. Reeves. Cruz's heart sank. They needed to act quickly to prevent further disaster. Open a channel to the Arcturian fleet, she ordered. We need their support. Meanwhile, deep within the Titan Industries facility on a nearby planet, Tucker and Reeves found themselves in a dimly lit room, bound but unharmed. Drake stood before them, his cybernetic enhancements glinting ominously as he examined the ethereal crystal he had snatched from the Nox Eternus. Welcome to your new reality, Drake sneered, holding up the crystal as it pulsed with energy. This will give me everything I need to bend that cosmic horror to my will. Tucker struggled against his restraints but remained calm. You don't understand what you're dealing with, he warned. The Nox Eternus isn't a weapon, it's a sentient being. Drake laughed derisively. Sentient? It's a monster, and I intend to control it. He turned away, leaving Tucker and Reeves to contemplate their next move. Back on the Odyssey, Cruz faced Admiral Zoran's stern visage on the viewscreen. Stand down and surrender the Nox Eternus, he demanded. With all due respect, Admiral, Cruz countered firmly, the Nox Eternus is under our protection. We won't let you harm it. Zoran's expression hardened. You are playing with forces beyond your comprehension. Just then, an alert blared from Chen's console. Massive energy surge detected from the planet's surface, she shouted. Cruz's blood ran cold as she realized what that meant. The fragment, she whispered, fear gripping her heart. On the surface, chaos erupted as mercenaries clashed with Tucker's away team in a desperate attempt to rescue him and Reeves. Lieutenant Commander Ramirez led the charge, ducking behind cover as phaser fire lit up the compound. Status report, Cruz called over their comms. We've breached the facility but are pinned down. Ramirez replied urgently. No sign of Tucker or Reeves. Cruz knew they had to act fast before Drake could harness the power of the Nox Eternus for his own nefarious purposes. We're coming in, she declared, determination flooding her veins. Meanwhile, within the confines of his dark office on Earth, Malcolm Graves monitored every move from his holographic interface. He had orchestrated this entire operation with one goal: control over the Nox Eternus. Prepare for extraction, he commanded his team of mercenaries as they geared up for a final assault on Odyssey. Back on board their ship, Cruz turned to Chen and Lyra, who had arrived just in time to assist them in their hour of need. We need to destabilize that rift before it consumes everything, she said urgently. Lyra nodded, her violet eyes intense with focus. If we can use your warp drive to collapse it from within, we might just stand a chance. Let's do it, Cruz said resolutely. As they plunged through the planet's atmosphere toward the rift, a swirling vortex of fractured reality. Chaos reigned below them. The away team fought valiantly against waves of mercenaries while trying to reach Tucker and Reeves. In that moment of desperation, Tucker felt a surge of energy emanating from the crystal Drake held captive. It pulsed in rhythm with his own heartbeat, a connection forged through shared understanding and empathy. Drake, Tucker shouted suddenly, capturing his captor's attention. You don't have to do this. The Nox Eternus is not your enemy. Drake sneered but hesitated for just a moment, as if considering Tucker's words. Back aboard Odyssey, Cruz initiated her plan with Lyra's guidance, while Chen monitored incoming data frantically. The ship shuddered as they drew closer to the rift. Brace for impact, Cruz shouted as they entered the maelstrom of energy surrounding them. Inside Titan Industries facility, Tucker seized his chance while Drake was distracted by visions of power swirling before him. With a swift movement fueled by adrenaline, he broke free from his restraints using an improvised tool made from debris nearby. Reeves, let's go, Tucker urged as he freed his companion. Together they charged toward an exit, just as Drake realized what was happening and lunged after them. But it was too late. They were already slipping through a side door into chaos outside. As they burst into daylight, they spotted Ramirez and his team engaging mercenaries in fierce combat nearby. Over here, Ramirez shouted as he spotted them. With renewed determination bolstered by their escape, Tucker and Reeves joined forces with Ramirez's team to fight back against their captors, while Cruz maneuvered Odyssey closer to stabilize the rift. Finally, reaching a vantage point overlooking the chaos below, they witnessed an incredible sight. The Nox Eternus pulsed violently in response to their struggle against Drake's forces. is responding, Reeves exclaimed in awe as colors danced across its form like an aurora borealis. With one final push from Odyssey, crews initiated her plan. Energy surged through their warp drive as it collided with the rift, creating a shockwave that rippled through space-time itself. In that moment of unity between human ingenuity and cosmic power, the rift began collapsing inward, pulling mercenaries into its depths while freeing those trapped within Titan Industries' grasp. As silence fell across both battlefields, the crew of Odyssey regrouped around their captain, hearts racing but spirits high amid victory over adversity forged through friendship with an entity once feared beyond measure. But even as they celebrated this hard-won triumph, an ominous shadow loomed ahead. Malcolm Graves' plans were far from over, and darkness still lingered among stars yet unexplored.